it seems like blockchain is somewhat of a new concept, but it's the buildup of a historical length of time's worth of research and development in the field of decentralized decision making, decentralized computing, and economic incentive systems. From our previous conversations, I feel like, Seith, you're a fighter for financial access, equity, and inclusion. And you don't see necessarily disruptive innovation as something to leave a certain portion of society harmed or behind. You can disruptively make changes for the better. And so kind of from that angle, I'm wondering, what do you think of ZUZ and how it could work within the context of both public and private sectors? What could that look like to an everyday human being?
Okay, so ZUZ is like I said, a tool for financial inclusion. And the way to think about it is it's a two-sided platform where right now, anyway, we're thinking about businesses selling their ZUZ. So let's say Alice's Bakery. Alice wants to raise some money, and Alice is going to sell Alice's Bakery ZUZ. You can think about these ZUZ as digital gift cards. Okay, so this is a digital gift card that you could use at Alice's Bakery. So nothing special at this point, although I do think that even if that was it, this is a much less expensive way to sort of crowdfund, right? So you can issue these digital instruments that are parameterized in all kinds of ways and raise money from your loyal following, from your community, your customers, the people who know you. So your Alice's Bakery ZUZ are in your wallet. Now, you can spend them at Alice's Bakery, but you could also use them at anyone who's on the ZUZ network. So Alice has an obligation to accept her Alice's Bakery ZUZ, but Bob's Hardware Store could also take Alice's Bakery ZUZ. And the reason why Bob's Hardware Store would do that is that they're part of the community of Alice's customers, for instance. They go into Alice's Bakery every morning and buy donuts, or they just want to support Alice and her bakery. The beauty of this being built on a public ledger is that all of the two-way, sort of one-to-one transactions that occur between Alice and her customer, or between one of her customers and Bob's Hardware Store, are stored on the ledger. And so we get two things from that. One is it sort of creates like a digital small town where your individual trusted interactions get exported to the whole community. So now, David's hair salon can see that there's multiple stores taking Alice's Bakery ZUZ, and they do business with those stores, so they'll also accept Alice's Bakery ZUZ, essentially creating an emergent bottom-up local currency. The other advantage is that over the long term, this data, like the sort of shape of Alice's Bakery ZUZ fundraise and who's using it where, can be sort of turn the soft capital of reputation into some quantitative metric. And that's important because this system will allow people to raise money, small amounts of money from their communities. But when they really want to access larger amounts of money, they can go to sort of Main Street banking, traditional funding sources. And now they have a quantitative metric that can talk about their reputation. And this is, I think, crucial because community banks have been closing at a really rapid rate in America. I mean, I think last year alone, over 3,300 community banks closed. And the community banks had sort of knew their community and used reputation to make loans. It wasn't just a straight numbers games, but the larger banks, it cost them the same amount of money to make a $50,000 loan as to make a $50 million loan. And they just don't have the metrics or the understanding to make those loans. So they're leaving a tremendous amount of money on the table and hurting small business growth at the same time.
So the idea of some unified currency across borders or cultures, the idea of some digitized currency like in-game tokens, the idea of common point systems between chamber of commerce districts. These kinds of things are not new, but what's new is that we can implement using cryptocurrency, using blockchain technology.